Most people believe they are in control of their lives. They wake up, make decisions, pursue goals, and assume they are the authors of their own story. But here is the reality that only 1% truly grasp. You are not controlling your world. Your world is controlling you. Your reactions are predictable. Your emotions are manipulated. Your attention is stolen. And until you understand the subtle mechanisms that govern human behavior, you will remain a passenger in your own existence, convinced you are driving. The ancient Stoics discovered something profound. They realized that true power does not come from controlling external circumstances. It comes from mastering the only thing you actually can control, your inner state. This is not philosophical abstraction. This is practical psychology that separates those who shape their reality from those who are shaped by it. If you want to join that 1%, stay with me. And if you are serious about reclaiming your power, subscribe, because we are uncovering these hidden principles every single week. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the ancient world, wrote his private meditations not about conquest or glory, but about controlling his own mind. Think about that. An emperor who commanded armies and ruled an empire spent his time reflecting on how to manage his thoughts and emotions. Why? Because he understood what most people never learn. External power is fragile and temporary, but internal mastery is unshakable and eternal. The first power move is to control your attention like your life depends on it. Because it does. In the modern world, your attention is the most valuable resource you possess. Billion-dollar industries exist solely to capture it, fragment it, exploit it. Every notification, every headline, every algorithm is designed to hijack your focus and redirect it toward someone else's agenda. And most people surrender willingly, spending hours each day feeding their attention into systems that give nothing meaningful in return. The Stoics understood that where your attention goes, your life follows. Epictetus taught that we are disturbed not by things, but by the views we take of them. This means your experience of reality is determined by what you focus on. If you constantly focus on what you lack, you will feel scarcity. If you focus on what offends you, you will feel outrage. If you focus on what threatens you, you will feel fear. Your attention is the lens through which reality appears, and whoever controls that lens controls your world. So how do you take back control? You become ruthlessly selective about what enters your awareness. You stop consuming content passively. You stop scrolling mindlessly. You stop exposing yourself to manufactured outrage and artificial urgency. Every morning, the Stoics practiced what they called prosage, vigilant attention. They reminded themselves what deserved their focus and what did not. This is not about ignoring reality. This is about refusing to let your consciousness become a dumping ground for whatever demands your attention loudest. The second power move is to separate opinion from fact. This distinction sounds simple, but it is the foundation of mental sovereignty. Most people live in a world of inherited opinions disguised as truths. They believe things not because they have examined them, but because they heard them repeated enough times. They react to interpretations as if they were facts. They confuse their narrative about events with the events themselves. Marcus Aurelius practiced a technique he called objective representation. When something happened, he would describe it in the most neutral, factual terms possible. Not, that person disrespected me, but that person said certain words. Not, this situation is terrible, but this situation is unexpected. By stripping away the emotional interpretation, he could see reality clearly and respond from wisdom rather than reactivity. Here is why this matters. Your opinions create your emotional experience. If you believe someone is trying to harm you, you will feel threatened and defensive. If you believe the same person is simply acting from their own confusion, you will feel compassion or indifference. The facts have not changed. Your interpretation has, and that interpretation is within your control. This power move requires constant practice. Every time you feel a strong emotion, pause and ask, what is the fact here, and what is my opinion about it? The fact might be that you did not get the promotion. Your opinion might be that this means you are not good enough, or that your boss is unfair, or that the system is rigged. None of these opinions are facts. They are stories you are telling yourself. And stories can be rewritten. The third power move is to practice voluntary discomfort. The Stoics deliberately exposed themselves to hardship. Seneca would sleep on hard surfaces and wear rough clothing. Cato walked barefoot through Rome in winter. These were not acts of self-punishment. They were training exercises. They were preparing their minds for inevitable difficulty by making difficulty familiar. Most people spend their entire lives pursuing comfort. They optimize everything to minimize friction, avoid pain, eliminate inconvenience. And in doing so, they become fragile. The slightest discomfort becomes unbearable. A delayed flight ruins their day. A critical comment devastates their mood. A minor setback derails their progress. They have built no resilience because they have never practiced it. When you voluntarily choose discomfort, you gain 3 advantages. First, you desensitize yourself to minor hardships, so they no longer control your emotional state. Second, you prove to yourself that you are capable of enduring difficulty, which builds genuine confidence. Third, you develop what the Stoics called apatheia, not apathy in the modern sense, but a state of emotional equilibrium where external circumstances do not dictate your inner peace. This could be as simple as taking cold showers, fasting for a day, sitting in silence without distraction, exercising when you do not feel like it. The specific practice matters less than the principle. You are teaching your nervous system that discomfort is not dangerous. You are proving that your peace of mind does not depend on everything being easy. This is power that no external force can take from you. The fourth power move is to pre-rehearse adversity. The Stoics called this premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. Every morning, they would imagine what could go wrong, not to cultivate anxiety, but to eliminate surprise. They would mentally rehearse losing their wealth, their reputation, their health, even their loved ones. This sounds dark, but it is psychologically brilliant. When you pre-rehearse adversity, 2 things happen. First, you remove the shock factor from negative events. If something you already mentally prepared for occurs, your brain does not interpret it as a catastrophe. It recognizes it as a scenario you already considered. Second, you naturally become more grateful for what you have right now. When you vividly imagine losing something, you stop taking it for granted. Most people avoid thinking about worst-case scenarios because they find it uncomfortable. But this avoidance leaves them vulnerable. When something unexpected happens, they have no psychological framework for handling it. They collapse into panic or denial. The Stoic who has rehearsed difficulty responds with composure, not because nothing bothers them, but because they already decided how they would handle it. This practice also reveals what truly matters to you. When you imagine losing everything, what remains essential? What would you fight to keep? What could you release without losing yourself? These questions clarify your values and strip away attachment to things that do not serve your deeper purpose. The fifth power move is to treat externals as indifference. This is perhaps the most misunderstood Stoic principle. People think it means not caring about anything. It means the opposite. It means caring deeply about your character and virtue while remaining detached from outcomes you cannot control. The Stoics divided everything into 2 categories: what is up to you and what is not up to you. Your thoughts, your intentions, your effort, your character. These are up to you. Other people's opinions, the results of your actions, your circumstances, your health, these are not up to you. They are influenced by countless factors beyond your control. Here is the power move. You invest everything into what is up to you. You focus entirely on being the kind of person you respect. You act according to your values regardless of the outcome. And you treat everything else as indifferent, meaning you do not let it determine your sense of self-worth or peace of mind. Does this mean you do not care if your business succeeds? No. You care, you work hard, you strategize. But your identity is not attached to the result. If it succeeds, excellent. If it fails despite your best effort, you remain whole because your worth was never dependent on that external outcome. This is not resignation. This is freedom. Can you see how these power moves interconnect? Control your attention so you focus on what matters. Separate opinion from facts so you see reality clearly. Practice voluntary discomfort so you build resilience. Pre-rehearse adversity so you eliminate surprise. Treat externals as indifference so outcomes do not control you. Each principle reinforces the others, creating a comprehensive system of inner power. The sixth power move is to act in accordance with nature. The Stoics believed there is a rational order to the universe, and human flourishing comes from aligning with that order rather than resisting it. But what does this mean practically? It means accepting reality as it is, not as you wish it to be. It means working with the grain of existence rather than against it. Think about how much energy you waste resisting what is. You argue with traffic. You resent aging. You resist change. You wish people were different than they are. Every moment spent in this resistance is suffering you are creating for yourself. Not because the circumstances are inherently painful, but because you are fighting reality. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the impediment to action advances action, that what stands in the way becomes the way. This is the principle of turning obstacles into opportunities. When something blocks your path, you do not waste energy wishing the obstacle did not exist. You ask how you can use it, learn from it, grow through it. This is not positive thinking. This is practical adaptation. Acting in accordance with nature also means honoring your own nature. You are a rational being capable of choice and reflection. When you act from reactive emotion or mindless habit, you are not being true to your nature. When you respond with reason, intention, and principle, you are fulfilling your purpose as a human being. This alignment creates a sense of integrity that external validation never provides. The seventh and final power move is to remember you are going to die. We already touched on mortality in the first script, but the Stoics used it differently. They practiced memento mori, remember you must die, not as morbid pessimism but as a tool for clarity and urgency. When you truly internalize that your time is finite, trivial concerns dissolve. You stop wasting energy on petty conflicts. You stop postponing important conversations. You stop tolerating situations that diminish you. Death is the ultimate deadline, and it brings everything into focus. Seneca wrote that we are not given a short life, but we make it short by wasting so much of it. Most people squander their time as if they have an endless supply. They spend years in jobs they hate, relationships that drain them, pursuits that do not align with their values. And then one day they look back and realize they gave their life to things that did not matter. The 1% who understand these Stoic power moves live differently. They are not controlled by circumstances because they have mastered their inner state. They do not waste attention on what does not serve them. They distinguish between fact and interpretation. They have trained themselves to handle discomfort. They have rehearsed adversity. They are not attached to external outcomes. They align with reality rather than resisting it. And they live with the awareness that time is their most precious resource. This is not about achieving some perfect state of enlightenment. This is about building practical psychological skills that give you agency in a world designed to take it away. Every single one of these power moves can be practiced starting today. Not someday when you have more time or fewer problems. Today, right now, in whatever situation you are currently facing. So here is my challenge to you. Choose one of these 7 power moves and implement it this week. Not all of them, just one. Master it, make it part of how you operate. Then add another. This is how you join the 1%. Not through grand gestures or dramatic transformations, but through consistent practice of principles that compound over time. If you want to go deeper into Stoic philosophy and practical psychology for self-mastery, subscribe to this channel. We explore these ideas every week with the depth they deserve. And comment below sharing which power move resonates most with you. Let us build a community of people who understand that true power comes from within. Until next time, control your world by mastering yourself.